Hello children, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is the third part of Just for Exams question bank for the chapter The Third Level by Jack Finney. In this part we will be discussing only the long answer questions. In the previous parts I have already discussed the text question, and in the second part of Just for Exam question bank I have discussed the short answer questions, around 13 of them. Before these questions have been uploaded, we have also uploaded a summary of the chapter. Apart from that, also a line-wise explanation of the whole text. I hope you visit those videos as well. So let us go to the set of questions, long answer questions I have shortlisted for this chapter. The first long answer question, before I deal with the questions, all long answer questions have to be written in 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph will give a description of a short context according to the question, an introduction. Place the question in the context of the chapter. In the second paragraph, talk about the details of the answer, the substantiating points and facts from the text. And in the third paragraph, talk about the conclusion. What is the conclusion you have derived? So the first question says, describe the Grand Central Station at the third level. So you'll talk about it in the first paragraph. You'll say the Grand Central Station actually had only 2 levels. And the presidents of both the stations were ready to vouch that only 2 levels existed, but Charlie claims to have visited the third level. It is through his eyes that we see the third level. Now, in the second paragraph, describe the third level. There were fewer ticket windows. There were train gates. They too were also fewer in number. The information booth was in the center. It was made of wood. There was a very old-looking man in the booth who wore green eyeshade, long sleeve protectors, and the lights were dim and flickering as they were open flame gas lights. There were brass spittoons also on the floor. The men wore derby hats and had black 4-button suits with tiny lapels. And he had a big black handlebar kind of a mustache. The men had beards and sideburns and fancy mustaches. The women wore dresses with leg of mutton sleeves, and he caught a glimpse of a very small Currier and Eves locomotive with a funnel-shaped stack. He also saw a copy of The World, a newspaper which hadn't been published for years. So the Grand Central Station in the third paragraph you can write down was very different from what it was from what it appeared in the second and the first level. It talked about a different era. Okay, it described a different era. Now, question number 2 says, what was the reaction of the clerk at the ticket counter? Now, here the context is that Charlie discovered that he was on the third level, so he decided to go to Galesburg with his wife Lausa, and therefore he turned to purchase 2 tickets from the ticket counter at the clerk, from the clerk. And therefore the following incident happened. That comes in the second paragraph. The clerk at the ticket counter glanced at his fancy hatband very curiously. And however, when Charlie counted the money and handed over the currency notes to the clerk, he started staring at Charlie very carefully, and he felt as if Charlie was going to give him some fake currency, as the currency that was used in 1894 were old style bills, half as big as the notes that Charlie was giving. So the clerk even threatened to turn him to the authorities, and Charlie did not relish the prospect of going to jail, because even jail in the third level in that era would definitely not be a nice place to visit. So the end of the paragraph you can write in the third paragraph, the clerk did not behave in a very cordial manner with Charlie because he was definitely thinking that Charlie was bent upon skinning him. The third question: why is the fact that Sam has moved to the third level ironical? Or another way of putting up the question is, how is the ending of the third level by Jack Finney ironical? Now, Sam believed that only two levels existed. He explained Charlie's experience as a waking dream wish fulfillment. So you begin the first paragraph like that, and he was very, very sure that the third level did not exist. In the second paragraph, you say that despite the fact he believed that the third level did not exist, it is very ironical that he himself became a resident of the Galesburg community. He even urged Charlie to keep on finding it. The ending is very ironical because he was the one who made Charlie believe that such a place does not exist at all, but he himself makes it back to Galesburg, Illinois in 1893. Now, Charlie had confided in Sam about the third level, but Sam had kind of said that Charlie was experiencing a kind of a waking dream wish fulfillment. And then later onwards, he himself had exchanged all his currency and he ended up buying tickets for Galesburg and settling down over there. So in the end, it is the psychiatrist. So in the third paragraph, you write down, in the end, it is the psychiatrist who is trying to ground Charlie in the present, but he himself escapes into a past where even his profession of psychiatry doesn't exist. Remember, he even in that era, if he wanted to continue with his profession, he would not have been able to do so because such a profession didn't exist and he resorted to the hay business. The fourth question says, imagination is a temporary refuge from reality. Now, see, it's believed that the third level was actually a symbol of a waking dream, perhaps a wish fulfillment. And it felt like any man in the modern world like Charlie would be maybe unhappy, as the modern world is so full of trials and tribulations and worries and insecurities, that like Charlie, anybody would like to escape from this world. People indulge in some sort of hobby to escape from their harsh realities. Even stamp collecting is looked as some kind of a temporary escape. But Charlie refuted his contention. He said people do not wander about due to stress. Besides, his grandfather had also collected stamps, and in those good old days, they were peaceful days in the 1890s, and his grandfather never needed to escape from life, as it was quite stress-free in those days. Elaborate the theme of this story. Well, the story primarily focuses on the atrocities of the modern world, full of insecurity, stress, fear, war, hatred. One feels caged by the modern advancement and leads to tension and worries. And therefore, it leads people to look for a means of escape. In this story, Charlie creates the third level to seek refuge. And this actually makes him really, really tense. He thinks that creating that third level would be able to provide him a sweet power to relax. So I hope, children, you've understood the long answer questions and you have also understood the short answer questions and text questions that were discussed in the previous two videos. Please don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and like it and share it with your other friends as well. I'm sure many students will be able to benefit from this, as this is the sole purpose of this YouTube channel. Hope to see you visit another video of mine. Thank you.